Imagine waking up and not feeling that heavy pressure in your chest when bills are due. Not because the bills disappeared, but because you finally have room to breathe. The rent is paid without panic. The car note does not keep you up at night. You can walk into the grocery store and buy what your family actually needs without adding everything up in your head before you reach the register. You can take a day off when your body is tired without feeling like one missed shift will ruin the whole month. You can buy your kids the shoes, the backpack, or the birthday gift they have been asking for without feeling guilty about what bill has to wait. You can take your family on a vacation, not once in a lifetime, but because you chose to. You can sit across from your parents at a restaurant, tell them to order what they want, and actually mean it. And if someone you love gets sick, you can help pay that medical bill without checking your bank account 3 times and wondering what you will have to sacrifice next. And for the first time, money does not feel like something that only disappears. It feels like something that is growing. You check your investment account and you realize something powerful. While you were sleeping, your money was still connected to businesses. While you were at work, your money was still working beside you. While other people were only trading time for a paycheck, you were slowly building ownership. That is a different feeling. You can go out to eat without turning the menu into a math problem. You can buy the shoes you actually want without guilt following you around for 3 days. You can take your family somewhere nice and enjoy the moment instead of quietly worrying about the card declining. You stop living like every dollar has already been claimed before it reaches your account. And this is the part many struggling people dream about, while wealthy people often treat it as normal, having choices. Not waiting for payday to feel okay. Not being trapped by one job. Not feeling like one emergency can wreck the whole month. When you finally understand stocks, you begin to understand one of the biggest differences between only earning money and building wealth. Income pays for life. Ownership gives your money a chance to grow beyond your labor. A job can help pay your bills. Investments can help buy back pieces of your time. But this is where people get misled. Stocks are not a magic button. They are not a shortcut around discipline, and they are definitely not a promise that every person who buys a stock becomes rich. Stocks are ownership. When you buy a share of a company, you're buying a small piece of that business. If the business grows, earns more, becomes more valuable, or returns cash to shareholders, your ownership may benefit. If the business struggles, disappoints investors, or the market changes, your investment can lose value. That is why understanding stocks changes the way you think. A beginner usually looks at a stock and asks, "Is this going up soon?" An owner asks different things. What business am I connected to? How does it make money? What could go wrong? Am I buying this because I understand it? Or because somebody online made it sound exciting? That one shift can save you from a lot of expensive mistakes. If you see stocks as lottery tickets, you will chase movement. If you see stocks as ownership, you will care about quality, risk, price, time, and patience. And for most beginners, the path does not start with finding one perfect company. It starts with building a system that keeps you from needing to panic. The first step is cash stability. Before you try to become an investor, make sure a normal life problem does not force you to sell at the worst time. A starter emergency fund can help with that. It does not have to be impressive. It just needs to create a small buffer between you and new debt. A flat tire, a medical bill, a missed work shift. Those are the moments where people often reach for credit cards or sell investments they just started building. So if every dollar is already committed, it may be wise to build some cash first, even while you're learning. That is not falling behind. That is preparing the ground before planting seeds. The second step is learning broad market investing. A broad market fund, such as an index fund or exchange-traded fund, is designed to hold many companies instead of only one. That means your money can be spread across a large group of businesses, which may reduce the risk of one company ruining your entire plan. It does not remove risk. The market can still fall. Your account can still go down. But diversification can make investing less dependent on guessing one winner. That is why many long-term investors start by learning broad market funds before they try to choose individual stocks. The third step is consistency. This is the part that feels boring at first and important later. A person who invests only when they feel excited is usually letting emotion run the plan. A person who invests on a schedule is training the habit. That could mean every payday, once a month, or starting small while debts, bills, and emergency savings are being covered. The exact amount depends on your situation, and this is educational, not personal financial advice. But the habit matters because wealth is rarely built from one dramatic decision. It is usually built from repeated decisions that look ordinary while they are happening. Let me give you a simple example. Nina is 29, works full-time, and has always felt like stocks were for people who already had money. Every time she tried to learn, she found loud opinions, complicated charts, and people arguing about which stock was about to explode. So she stayed out. Then she gets serious. She does not throw rent money into a stock tip. She looks at her bills, builds a small emergency fund, and learns what a brokerage account is. She learns the difference between buying one company and buying a fund that holds many companies. She learns that the market can fall and that money needed soon should usually be treated carefully. Then she starts with an amount she can afford to keep invested. Nothing flashy. Nothing that would impress strangers. But every month she buys more ownership. When her paycheck comes in, part of it is no longer only paying old bills. Part of it is buying assets. She is still working. She still has responsibilities. She is not suddenly wealthy. But her relationship with money has changed. She is no longer only asking, "How do I survive until next Friday?" She is asking, "How do I slowly build something that can work beside me?" That is the life change. It is the moment you stop seeing money as something that passes through your hands and start seeing it as something that can be directed. If you want more lessons that make ownership, investing, and money decisions easier to understand before they control your life, subscribe and keep learning with Professor Richman. Now, there are two traps to watch for. The first trap is hype. Hype makes investing feel like entertainment. A stock is running up, everyone is talking about it, and patience starts to feel foolish. You feel like if you do not act right now, you are missing your only chance. That feeling is dangerous. Popular stocks are not automatically bad. The problem is that panic and envy usually skip the boring questions that protect you. What am I buying? Why now? How much can I afford to lose? What happens if this drops and stays down for a while? Do I have a plan, or am I reacting to noise? The second trap is fear. Fear shows up when the market falls. Your account is down, the news sounds dramatic, and selling feels like the only way to stop the pain. But if you invested money you did not need soon, stayed diversified, and understood the risk before buying, a market drop may be something to review carefully rather than something that automatically destroys the plan. Sometimes selling is appropriate. The original reason for owning something may have changed, or your life situation may have changed. But selling just because the screen is red can turn normal market volatility into a permanent loss. Cash buffer first. Education next. Then a simple investing plan you can actually live with. Then consistency. Then over time, deeper learning. Individual stocks can come later if you want to study businesses closely, but they should not be treated like scratch tickets. One company can disappoint you badly. A great brand can still be overpriced. And a company you love as a customer is not automatically a good investment at any price. That is why successful investing is less about sounding smart at dinner and more about making decisions you can defend when nobody is clapping. You understand what you own. You know why you own it? You know what risk you accepted? You know what would make you change your mind. And you do not let every headline rewrite your whole future. So, if you're just starting, here is your practical action step. Do not start by asking which stock will make you rich. Start by writing down 3 things. First, how much cash would make your next emergency less destructive? Second, what broad market investing terms do you need to understand before putting real money at risk? Third, what small investing habit could you repeat without damaging your bills, debts, or peace of mind? Those answers will teach you more than chasing a random hot stock. Because the dream is not only to have more money, the dream is to have more control over your choices. Stocks can be one tool for that when you understand them, respect the risk, and use them with patience. They connect ordinary people to ownership. They give your money a chance to participate in businesses instead of only sitting still or disappearing into expenses. And over time, that understanding can change how you walk through life. You may still work hard. You may still have bills. You may still face setbacks. But now you know there's another lane besides earning, spending, and waiting for the next paycheck. There is ownership. And once that idea finally clicks, money starts to look different. Thank you for watching. Keep learning, keep your decisions steady, and do not rush the process just because somebody else is making noise. The goal is to understand the game well enough that your next money move is thoughtful, not emotional.